Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Back in August of 2018, Night Games Limited published their first game on their Steam page called The Forest. The Forest had you crash land inside of a forest on a deserted island where you were presumed to be the only survivor left. After being acquainted with your local skinwalker group, you essentially fight your way to the truth about the island, and everything else from that point is history. The Forest had an amazing story, great gameplay mechanics, scare factor galore, and VR implementation. People demanded a sequel for 5 years, and on February 23rd, we got what we wanted. This is the good, the bad, and my opinions about Sons of the Forest. Before we start though, I have a small favor to ask. We just hit 1.3k subs on the channel, which means we are 700 away from our goal of 2k subs, and by the end of the video, if you like what you see, then consider liking and subbing to the channel. I appreciate you all so much. Socials linked below. Let's get into it. Sons of the Forest, for those of you who are unaware, is a first-person open-world multiplayer survival horror game that was released into early access on February 23rd of 2023. Sent to find a missing billionaire on a remote island, you find yourself in a cannibal-infested hellscape. Craft, build, and struggle to survive, alone or with friends, in this terrifying new open-world survival horror simulator. When you first launch the game, you are presented with a cutscene of helicopters flying over an island until they decide not to because horror game. We then swiftly get introduced to Kelvin, your now deaf comrade who survived the crash but can only communicate through reading words on a notepad. Crafting in this game is done through a little notebook that has two different modes, one for your basic shit like tents and fires, and the other side for traps and shelters. The survival kit you were given once you officially start is a plasma lighter, an axe, your crafty notebook, a knife, and a GPS. Some people out there may think it's a little too heavy on the hand holding, but you have to think back to the opening cutscene. You are a member of a group that's on a mission to find a missing billionaire, so it makes sense that a search and rescue team would have these tools available. This beautiful wilderness has caves, lakes, rivers, hills, cannibal camps, and just about everything you could ever want in a survival game, including smooth and pretty well-rounded mechanics. A lot of the core mechanics from the Forest are in Sons of the Forest, which makes returning players like me and many of my friends feel a sense of familiarity. But even though the core concept of the Forest and Sons of the Forest are the same, this game looks so much better, and its features got some much needed tender love and care. Let's start with the overhauled and much improved building mechanic. Now you can essentially build wherever, whenever, and however the hell you want. There are now animations when you're placing logs and support beams to install roofs. There are animations when stacking logs on top of each other to make walls, and it's something I haven't really seen before in games like this. Actions such as chopping trees and bushes feels very clean and effortless, and listening to the trees crack and break as they fall makes my ears splooge. If you decide to find yourself sightseeing inside of the caves around the island, the amount of environmental detail is that of a AAA quality. Everything from the pitch black corridors to the reflection of the water on the walls of the cave is just beautiful. Everything environmentally in comparison to the first game got a facelift. The crafting menu got a very interesting facelift as well, because now it's a fully laid out, over the top, portable crafting bench with LED lights that you can change the color of at any time. I will warn you, however, that the crafting bench extends past the screen, so the only way to view the entire bench is by using your mouse to shift the camera. I don't care for that at all, but it is what it is. Stabbing and clubbing the shit out of small animals, birds, and the local Discord moderators on the island feels way more responsive than the first game. I'm so damn happy that Night made the combat system better, because that first game was, it was a bit rough. While we are on the topic of seizing life with blunt objects, the cannibals in this title are a lot more hostile, with some of them carrying bones of their Michelin star steak in their hands. Besides that, some of the cannibals got even more sinister looking, with some of the newer cannibals being taller, wielding terrifying weapons like a boat motor, and just being ballsy little bastards. We also get to see the return of mutants.
What are you doing?
Did you hit her?
Just beating her to death.
I thought this was so. Oh, she's fucking dead. Is she dead?
Ow.
She's fucking dead.
Red.
She's
It's like a toothpick.
Wait, what? Saying that this game is gory and bloody is a bit of an understatement, especially when you can do shit like this. Hey buddy, smile for the camera.
Oh, I died.
Oh shit. I mean, how damn cool is that? So when it comes to survival games, one of its many flaws, at least with me, is immersion. Keeping myself immersed in games like this is always a struggle for me. I myself am one for fast-paced gunplay and gun battles and all that fun crackhead shit, but Sons of the Forest is doing the same thing that Scum did for me, and that thing is keeping me engaged and immersed. And a lot of that has to deal with the genius environment design and random encounters with the cannibals on the island. Not to mention that this game plays both sides of the field for me. My not so serious casual player side gets enjoyment out of just simply exploring and gathering materials, while my more hardcore scavenger killer be killed player side gets its fix by having encounters with whatever the hell shows up as a pixel on my screen. The HUD is noticeable, but it isn't intrusive, and the need for nourishment and rest is always a concern, but not a big enough concern to stress out about it, and overall this game is just fun to play. However, it does have some issues that I want to discuss, because if I don't mention them, then who the hell will? One of the first issues I encountered is how often I had a drop in frames. It happened when I first got to the island, when I first hit an enemy, when I first chopped a tree. Pretty much anything I did for the first time, it caused my frames to tank for about a second. After playing for a couple hours, not so much, but it still happens from time to time. Another issue I had is that sometimes I would go to hit an enemy and nothing registered in the hitbox. I usually had to be within sniffing distance of a cannibal to land an effective strike. Though everything got a huge improvement as far as UI goes for crafting and backpack inventory, it's not really explained at all how to navigate it. It's either I didn't pay attention or this game just didn't explain a damn thing about the menus. And finally, the biggest issue I had that chaps my ass worse than a 12-hour horse ride is that I fell through the map and I had to relog into the game. In any other game that wouldn't be an issue, right? Well, in this game it is, because if you don't save out of bed, you lose everything you did not manually save beforehand. Case in point, me and my guys ran a cave and got a lot of cool shit. And I'm talking about a stun gun, grenades, flares, MREs, a rebreather, lots of necessities. I fell through the map, so I had to relog, and when I came back, everything in my inventory was gone except for what I had on my character that was saved 5 minutes before the cave exploration. So if anyone watches this far, I warn you, save all the time. The $1 million question is this: is Sons of the Forest worth $30? And without getting damn near philosophical and making nothing short of a Vsauce video, I would say without a doubt yes. This game is worth every penny of that $30 price tag, especially for an early access title. If it were $40 or $50, my thoughts would be a little bit more intrusive. I'm not too sure what the content roadmap is for this game, but once I find out, I'll update all of you guys here. So make sure you hit that like button, that sub button, and cannibalize that notification bell. I post content like this all the time right here on YouTube. And as always, my name is Redbeard Mortis. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you guys in the next one. But until then, I am fucking out of here.